All right, so we are hopping back into this our lesson book, and we are jumping into intervals, which we're starting on page 36, and it's talking about seconds. So distances from one note to another are measured in intervals, and they're called seconds, thirds, fourths, fifths. And that is essentially what it says right here, is the distance from any white key to the next white key. If it's right next to each other, that's called the second. So you'll see in some of these lines, it's the line to a space or space to a line right next to each other. Those are seconds. When we're reading through these, we have the normal notes that you just hold down regular, and then we have these tied notes, right? Where are slurs, where they're connected, and that's what you want to try to connect and hold that note down until you actually press the next one. So that's beat 3 before you switch notes on each interval, and then same thing on the bottom row, and then the last measure is all tied together. So make sure you're holding that note down the entire time. And I do push in my lessons a lot using a metronome. I really like to grasp tempo and to really focus on that before we pull that away and start working on, feeling the music and working on musicality. So I'll put the metronome on and we'll play to this. The way that I have it set is at 4/4, and I just have all the notes that sound the same. I do that just so I don't have to count off at a specific time. I can just jump in there, count off in my head, and keep going. If your metronome allows it, you can also switch this to 1/4, and it's going to do the same thing. It's just the click in the background. I'm not actively watching this. I'm trying to look at the music and make sure that I'm reading the notes correctly. All right, so slowing the tempo down a little bit, we are going to play through this a couple times just to get some repetition on it, repeating something and just focusing on different things, whether it's the accuracy, consistency, keeping your hands still in the same place, dynamics, the slurs between the notes. There's a lot of things that we have to really think about while we're doing this, and so repetition and focusing on a different thing each time, making sure that one thing is really good, is definitely worth the time and the patience that it takes to do it. So let's jump into this and play it a few times. This is at 80 beats per minute. And if I stay set and I just count myself off again, I can jump right back in there. I don't have to readjust anything. My hands are already ready to go again. And again. And again, one more time, and we'll say some of the things that we are supposed to be thinking about each time. So we're starting off with our dynamics, right? And making sure that our fingers are set over the correct keys. So we're mezzo forte, medium loud. All right, and let's see if we can keep going on this. Tie, slur, 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 connect, and switch. Connect it. if you'll notice, my hands stay in that playing position the whole time. Even when that hand isn't playing, I'm going to try to keep it as close to that playing position as I can. It's not going to be perfect every single time, but you want to try to focus on getting it as close as you can, so whenever you do switch from that right hand to the left hand, it's not trying to find the key in the transition. It's just you start playing. All right, we're going to get a couple of repetitions on this at a little bit faster speed. I put it at 120. So we'll check it out there, see if we can get through this. And 1, 2, ready, go. And my hands are staying set, so I can jump right back in. 1, 2, ready, and go. Connect it, connect it, and switch. All right, that is just a second on page 36 of our lesson book.